You know what time it is. It's time for another episode of the 7 and a Hook Podcast, the world's premier sports betting podcast. Your source for the best information and insight when it comes to sports wagering. We cover it all because you bet on it all. So let's head up to the studio and get this show rolling.
Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of the 7 and a Hook Podcast. I am Brooksie, the Irish Insider. Hey, hope everybody's having a great day. It is Sunday and not just any Sunday. This is Championship Sunday. We've got the AFC Championship and the NFC Championship in the NFL. We're going to be talking about shortly, along with breaking down each of those games. We, and I say we, it's me and my co-host who's going to be on with us shortly. That's Jimmy D, the newest member of the 7 and a Hook Podcast. And the D stands for double down, because when Jimmy D gives you a pick, it's good. So you better go play it. So we're going to have sides and totals. We're also going to have some prop bets on each of these games. And we're also going to talk about a little NBA. We got a couple games later tonight that Jimmy D and I are going to break down. So, okay, before we get to our picks and our plays, certainly want to thank everybody that's been tuning in to the 7 and a Hook Podcast and following along on all of our socials. Man, I tell you what, don't know what's going on out there in the social media land, but our numbers have been going skyrocket. So thanks for those that have been following. If you're new to the show, check out our website. It's in front of you, 7 and a Hook Podcast. And check out all of our socials. It's the number 7 and a Hook. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and always go to YouTube and search out our page. Give us a subscribe. 7 and a Hook Podcast. Okay. So let me bring on, when I say the newest member of the 7 and a Hook Podcast team, he joined us a few weeks ago, along with myself, Easy Money Eric LaFleche, our newest host, Jimmy D. Hey, Jimmy D, how you doing, man? You on with us?
Hey, Brooksie, how you doing, kid?
All right, man. Good. Before we get to, I guess, breaking down the two AFC and NFC games and then jumping into some NBA, a couple things we want to talk about is, Jimmy D and I, both from New England, as everybody knows. We had our blizzard of 22 yesterday, about, I don't know, was it 24 inches of snow, Jimmy D? Does that sound about right?
Yeah, I didn't get that much. I know you guys down in Boston got that, but up here in God's country, New Hampshire, I only got about 6-7 inches, but it still was, not fun shoveling it.
No. Listen, I'm doing the show from my home studio, and I look out my window. I got my back deck still got about 18 to 20 inches. I'll get to it maybe later today. I'm hoping for some sun and to melt it, but that's probably not going to happen until May or June. So I think I am going to have to shovel that back deck at some point. Not looking forward to it, but it is what it is, as they say, right?
Yeah, exactly. My grandfather used to say, "God brought it, God will take it away." So
at some point, right?
Right?
Yeah. So that's one story of New England, but the real story of New England, you and I were talking about this before we went on air, and that's the Tom Brady. Is he out? Is he in? Did he retire? Did he not retire? You and I have been kind of texting it last night and this morning. Where do you sit with this thing so far?
I remember when Tom left New England, and he actually drove over to Mr. Kraft's, the owner of the Patriots' house, told him he wasn't going to come back. He was leaving. He was going free agent. He went over to Belichick's house, but Belichick was out in Nantucket, so he couldn't do that. I just find it hard to believe that Brady would, on the night of the AFC NFC Championship games, Brady would kind of upstage that. I didn't believe it. Now, I'm not saying, Brooksie, that he's not going to retire. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going on with his family life, what's going on. I just found it hard to believe the night before on, we'll call it Football Eve, the AFC NFC Championship games, that he came out and announced that. That doesn't sound like to me like Tom Brady.
No.
I think he's going to do it on, Jeter's Players Tribune, or was it he's on the Jim Gray show, or something like that. I don't think he's going to do it like that. So I found the story a little bit shaky.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it in a box. I mean, listen, he has his own podcast. It's called Let's Go, right? You know what I mean? Like, wouldn't it make sense that he would do it on his own show? I don't know. That to me, but you're right. I think he would do it the right way, and that's, like you said, take a ride over, sit down with Coach Arians, maybe the owners of Tampa Bay, and say, hey, listen, I'm in, I'm out, I'm going to announce something next week. You know what I mean? You're right. I think he would do it that way. I don't think he would do it through friends, you know what I mean, and then leak it out to ESPN or Sports Illustrated, whatever. That doesn't make sense.
I've been told he's not even in the country. I don't know where he is. Maybe he's in Costa Rica. I don't know where he is. But I don't find that. I just don't find that reliable.
No,
the information we got. So, I'm not saying he's not going to retire. I'm not sure of that. None of us do. I think that's going to have to do with his family life, Giselle, and what is up with him. We don't know how healthy he is. None of us do.
No.
I just found that the night before the AFC and NFC Championship game, he's going to come out with that story. No, I don't think so.
No, I don't either. If I was to give you for him to retire, it's minus 125 that he retires. You got to lay 125 to make 100. Are you laying the 125?
You got to put me on the spot here too. I don't think he's going to retire. I think he's going to come back in 1 year. I think he'll play one more year. But I don't know. None of us know. We don't know what's going on in his family life. His kid, one's 14, one's 13. I think he wants to watch them play football.
Yep.
He's got probably a lovely wife, great wife, that's been watching the kid. I think he'll come back for another year. I think he loves the game too much. I mean, did you see his stats this year, Brooksy? Did you see his stats?
Most touchdowns, and I think he had the most among the most passing yards too, right?
Right. And I know you made this point up when we talked earlier. I mean, if he retires next week, what is he? Gets $15 million? Is it?
$15 million after February 4th. It's part of his contract. It's part of his signing bonus. So,
yeah. Nobody's too rich where they can't use an extra $15 million. So I don't know what he's going to do. If I had to guess, I'd say one more year. I think he'll bring Gronk with him for one more year.
Yeah.
But I don't know what's going on in his family. None of us do.
Nah, we don't. So, I mean, listen, I guess, again, if I take those same odds, minus 125 to make 100, I don't think I'm taking the bet either. I think he's got at least one more year left. I do.
I agree with you.
I think we'll find out within the next, probably after the Super Bowl. Right? I mean, to me, he's not going to want to be the show before the big game, right?
I don't think so either, but as you know, as I know, we're both common men. Family has a big importance in our life.
Yeah.
So that could be the decision made by him, right? He's not big on family. So. All
right. Well, listen, we'll see, and I just think if he's not going to play, I think he waits to maybe the day or so after the Super Bowl, just to not be the spotlight for 2 weeks and let these other teams have the spotlight, and to do Tampa Bay a solid. Say, listen, I'm out, so, draft is coming in another month. You guys got a plan. You know what I mean? So
I agree with you, but I still think we both have sources that said Brady was pretty ticked off about how Goodell suspended him for that, Deflategate.
Yep,
right?
You're right.
So I would not be surprised. Tom's we both know people know Tom, but Tom can be an addictive guy, and if he kind of want to stick it to the NFL, wouldn't be surprised if the night before the Super Bowl he announced that, right?
That'd be classic. Yeah, that'd be
classic. All like that, right?
Yeah.
It kind of hurt the Super Bowl a little bit, but I don't expect it. Tom's too much of a classic guy.
Yeah.
I think I agree with what you're saying. I think after the Super Bowl. I've been told he's out of the country. I'm not sure if you heard the same thing.
Yeah, I did. So, I think he's going to lay low for a while. You know what I mean? So, and you're right. I mean, it'd be the classic, get back at Goodell to do it, right before the Super Bowl and make an announcement. But, you know what? I think Tom is smart enough not to burn any bridges, because he's going to be associated with the NFL for the rest of his life. So, don't do that, right? Don't do that.
Yeah, I mean, he's selling $70 T-shirts, so he probably like the NFL to back him on that, right?
Yeah, because you can see him at some point in some kind of maybe a front office role, general manager. You know what I mean? Like he's not going to disappear from NFL. He's not.
Yep.
Okay. So.
Brooksy, I've been told, I can't verify this, but I've been told that he's kind of upset. He's got the TB12 training facility up there in Foxborough.
Yep.
I've been told that he's kind of upset with something that's going on in Tampa. And I can't verify it, so I'm not going to, I shouldn't even bring it up. But I think he wants to get a TB12 down there in Tampa, and he's having a little problems with it.
Yeah.
But again, I can't verify that. But, I think he's going to become the family with Tom. Tom's going to, what the family decides, he'll decide.
Yep. No, that makes sense. So we'll reach out to our feet on the street down there in Tampa and see if we can find anything further for one of our upcoming shows. So, all right. So let's get to it. Let's head to the NFL, Jimmy D, and the AFC Championship game between Cincinnati and Kansas City. Obviously, Kansas City hosting the game today. It's the early game. It's 3 p.m. Eastern kickoff. Why don't you take front and center on that one, and what do you got for our audience?
Well, I mean, first of all, let's get to the last game they played.
Yeah.
They played about a month ago. Obviously, Kansas City won that game. Joe Burrow, he threw for 446 yards, 4 TDs. If you're a Cincinnati fan, you have to be ecstatic. You finally have your star quarterback. And Jamar Chase, he kind of had a little bit of a good game. I don't know, 266 yards, 3 TDs.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, not bad, right? And, T. Higgins, who might be the league's best number 2 receiver. He's up there. I think he had about 62 yards. Mahomes and the Kansas City, they played a solid game. They lost the game, obviously. Mahomes had 259 yards, and 2 TDs. I think this game's going to be different. I think the defensive coordinator for Kansas City, Steve Spagnuolo, who I still have nightmares of in the 2007 when he was the defense coordinator for the Giants.
Oh, yeah.
That kind of slowed down Brady, and the Giants won that game. I think he's going to have a game plan for Jamar Chase. I don't predict Jamar Chase to have 266 yards in this game. I think they're going to slow him down a little bit. And Mahomes is Mahomes, right? He's just, he's the top quarterback in the league, in my opinion. I think Burrows, if you're a Kansas City fan, Kentucky fan in that area, you got to just be absolutely ecstatic. He's just one of the greats. I do like it. For Cincinnati, look, there's another guy. I'm going to give you a little quiz here, Brooksy. There's a guy called Logan Wilson, the linebacker. He played for Wyoming. You know where the other top guy from Wyoming is?
Yeah, I think he played in the game last week against them at Buffalo, Mr. Josh Allen. Is that what we're talking about?
Can't fool you. You're full of logic.
Nope.
But this kid's an upcoming stud. I like him. I'm from the New England area. I compare him to Teddy Bruschi. He's all over the field. He's solid. But I just think that Steve Spagnuolo is going to come up with a game. I think he's going to bring the safety down. There's not going to be an over for Jamar Chase. I just think that Kansas City, it's a lot of points, but I think they're going to get the -7. I think they're going to cover it. I think they're going to get a late game field goal. The over-under, I'm taking the over, 54 and a hook.
Yeah.
I just think that we saw the Kansas City Buffalo game where the end of the game became like a video game. I just think Kansas City's going to cover this, and they'll win this game not easily. I think they'll win it by 10 probably. Okay,
you got them covering. That's all that matters, Yep.
Yep. Like I said, to be the man, you got to beat the man. KP is styling and profiling.
You're going a little Ric Flair today.
No,
I like it.
I just think that they're going to go to the 3rd Super Bowl, and they could have went to the 4th Super Bowl if it wasn't for Tom Brady and the Patriots winning overtime. I just think they're the top dog right now. But I think in the years to come, I think Cincinnati and the Buffalo Bills and those teams are going to, maybe the Patriots are going to be a challenge. But I think it's KC 0 right now.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense. I said, look, And you know what's funny? And I know you got a couple prop bets too you want to talk about on this game. But before you get there, think about Cincinnati, okay? Jimmy D, last year, okay, they finished dead last in the division, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, that's granted, they've made it to the the AFC Championship after finishing dead last in their division last year. I mean, you got to give them credit. You know what I mean? I know that, the people from Cincinnati that, okay, whatever, that's nice, and they want to keep moving forward, but I mean, that's quite a change, right? Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I mean, look, Joe Burrow is kind of, I know he was great down there in LSU, in the SEC, but the last game, he played against Buffalo. He had 446 yards and 4 TDs passing.
Yeah.
Jamar Chase, I think I've said it, 266 yards, the three TDs. If you're a fan down there in Cincinnati or Kentucky, we know where Cincinnati is on the border. You got to be really ecstatic to watch this team. I mean, Joe Burrow is the real deal.
He is.
And I think he's a stud. And Jamar Chase, think about that, Brooksy. 260 yards passing, 66 yards passing, and 3 TDs. I mean, and I know that was home, but that's all-time good, right?
Yeah, listen, I don't care if you're home or away. You do that in the NFL against NFL defenses.
Right.
That's not easy to do. I don't care who it is, right? So you gotta give them credit. So,
right.
All right. So
that's what I want to bring up too was last week's game, Buffalo Bills against Cincinnati. I mean, that was a video game at the end. Would you agree with me that? I mean, they were just going back and forth.
Yeah. There was 25 points scored in the last 2 minutes or something, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Crazy.
And I know Mahomes, he passed for 378 yards, 3 TDs.
Yeah.
I know some people are not liking him. Some of his family is kind of talking to the press, his lovely wife and his brother. But, Mahomes is just a stud.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's a winner. He's a winner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
13 seconds left in the game.
Yeah. That game should.
Come back and tie. I mean, come on now.
Ridiculous. Believe me, the fans in Buffalo, their heads are still hanging, and they're going to be hanging for a long time. And that was an embarrassment for that defense to give up points with 13 seconds to go. Like that shouldn't happen. Shouldn't happen.
I will say the fans of Buffalo, we both been to Buffalo. It's a great city, great town.
It is.
Beautiful people up in Buffalo.
Yep.
Wonderful people. The Buffalo Bills remind me of the Boston Red Sox. And the Boston Red Sox in 2003, they lost that game to the Yankees at home. Tim Wakefield gave up the home run. But then 2004, they came back, they came back against the Yankees and won. The Buffalo Bills remind me of the Boston Red Sox.
Yeah.
I think that they're close. Josh Allen, I was wrong on him. I hate to admit that, Brooksy. I hate to admit I'm wrong. But that kid is a stud.
He is.
He is growing up. The only thing I worry about him is running the ball constantly. I don't want him to get hurt. Those guys, the Randall Cunninghams, the Michael Vicks, they all end up running the ball and getting hurt.
Yeah.
I just want him to. But Buffalo, please. You've got a great team there. You're a step above New England Patriots. You finally beat your enemy. Your team's going to be close. Last week was a little bit of a fluke. It was like the 2003 game, Yankees Red Sox.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Where Waco gave the home run up to Boone, I believe.
Yeah.
But the Bills, they're tough. And I think NFL is ecstatic with these young stud quarterbacks.
Yeah, again, hopefully he stays healthy.
Yeah.
They continue to have a nice, solid offensive line to keep him protected. And you know what? They'll be there again. And it's maybe it's Buffalo and KC again next year. We might be looking at a replay. Who knows?
Yeah.
But all right, we got to get through this year first. All right, Jimmy D, you got any prop bets on this game you want to share with our audience?
I do. There's a couple of games. I looked on FanDuel. I mean, we love FanDuel. We love DraftKings.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, quality. We love, they're the best. But, Jared McKinnon against Buffalo, he had 54 yards rushing. And then against the Steelers, he had 81 yards rushing. He's got 25 and a hook, minus 110. I got to take the over in that, Brooksie.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, makes sense.
The other one I got real quick, I know you got to get your time in, but T. Higgins, stud.
Yeah.
Might be the best second receiver in the league. They got him over 70 and a hook. I'm sorry, minus 110. I got to go the over there. I think, like I said, Steve Spagnuolo is going to come up with a game plan for Jamar Chase.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're going to have an over guy. I think they bring the safety over. We haven't talked about the Honey Badger.
No.
I guess he has passed protocol for the concussion.
Yep.
So I just think Jamar Chase, again, a warrior, a weapon. He's going to have a great game. But I think T. Higgins is going to have a real good game. I think he's going to go over 70 in the hook. And the other one more, is Joe Mixon. Last game, he had 51 yards. I think it's the over in this game. It's 29 in the hook. I think he's going to definitely do that receiving, I would definitely take that. So those are my props. I'm pretty solid on them, and those are the ones I usually make money on.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Listen, if they're going to key on Jamar Chase, there's got to be other guys he's got to throw to. And those two guys you just mentioned, he likes to target. Okay,
yeah.
So I can see that. So all right, so quick recap.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Brooksie. Mahomes the other two is 28 and a half yards rushing. Last week, Mahomes led his team in rushing. I guess another one I would pick. I think he's going to go over 28 and a half, 28 and a hook. Sorry. Yeah, that's minus 115. So I like that too as well.
All right, I didn't see that one. So that's a good pickup. Yeah, I think that's a good.
That's on FanDuel. I know we love DraftKings and FanDuel equally, but
yeah, no.
Not FanDuel.
They're both welcome here. Sponsorship. Not that we're begging, but yeah, FanDuel, DraftKings, we love them both. There's no doubt. That's where we get our lines.
Both quality.
Both quality. All right, so you got KC. Covering the 7, and you're going over, was it 54 and a hook?
That's correct.
54 and a hook. Okay. All right. Gotcha. And we got your prop bets. All right. I'm going to take obviously the late game here, the NFC Championship. You got the San Francisco 49ers on the road, traveling to take on the LA Rams. Rams, as of showtime, minus 3 and a hook. Points total set at 45 and a hook. Now, I say San Francisco is on the road, but Jimmy D, you and I both know that more than half of these stands are going to be 49ers fans, even though it's in LA. So this may be more of a home game for the 49ers, but that remains to be seen, right? So
yeah, I agree. LA, we both love LA. Great town. But yeah, we need a little more fan support from the LA fans. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, last 2 times they've played, it was louder with the 49ers fans. So I'm wondering how that's going to play out today. But we shall see. All right. So San Francisco, they come into this game overall for the season 10-7, 6-3 on the road. They're coming off a huge road playoff win last week at Lambeau. They took down the Green Bay Packers 13-10. Again, it wasn't about obviously the San Francisco offense. They only scored 13 points. It's been about, and it will be about, their defense. They held Aaron Rodgers, arguably this year's MVP, to only 225 yards passing, but more importantly, an 0 touchdown passes. Okay, they kept him in check. Okay, matter of fact, even the ground game for Green Bay, which on a cold night you thought maybe they were going to be able to do something, not so much. They only had 67 yards rushing. So again, kudos to the 49ers defense. And then it was special teams. They did what they had to do. Field goal with time expiring, and the 49ers move on. and the Packers plan their next golf outing. So, all right, the Rams, home team for this game, as we mentioned, come into this game 12-5, 5-3 at home. All right, the Rams, they were also on the road last week. They traveled to Tampa Bay and knocked off the Buccaneers. Now, this looked like kind of a cakewalk, and I know NFL games, no such thing as a cakewalk, but into the third quarter, the Rams were up 27-3, okay? But then somehow the Bucs and Tom Brady got a memo that there was actually a game going on. And all of a sudden, you look up, and 42 seconds to go in regulation, it's tied, 27-27. I mean, listen, the Rams did everything they could to lose this game, but the Bucs did everything they could to try to win. Now, with 42 seconds left, LA has the ball. A couple, missteps in the Tampa Bay Bucs, defensive back, Cooper Kupp, 20-yard reception, then a 44-yard reception, and then guess what? As time expires on the 12-yard line, field goal, and season's over for Tampa Bay, and LA flies home, and they're hosting an NFC Championship game. So, all right, so as far as this game, this is the second time in 3 weeks that these two sides have met, all right, and so it'll be the third time this season, okay? San Francisco has won, obviously, the 2 games in the regular season, but it also dates back to 2018. They've won 6 straight over the Rams. So for whatever it is, the Niners have the Rams number, okay? And I look at, obviously I talked about the Niners defense being great, and then the Rams offense has been really good. They went on the road. Both teams went on the road, got it done. I've looked at this game every which way but loose. And Jimmy D, I honestly think this game comes down to one player, and that's Matthew Stafford. Okay? Is Matthew Stafford going to be the stud that we've seen in his last 2 games where he's had, 4 touchdown passes and he's thrown for, 568 yards and his quarterback rating's been, 129. He's just been, an all-pro player. Or is it the Matthew Stafford we saw at Detroit, or the Matthew Stafford that we saw in 2 regular season games against the 49ers where he had no touchdown passes and 4 interceptions, okay? That's really what this comes down to. And the Rams have gone all in on him, right? They traded away everything to get him.
Yep.
I think, and again, this is just my capping, I think Matthew Stafford is the Matthew Stafford in the regular season. I think the 49ers have figured him out. So, it's a very straight cap for me. I'm going to take the points with San Francisco. I'm going to take the 3 and a hook. And I think this is going to be, again, a defensive game. I'm going to go under the 45 and a hook in this game. So give me the points with San Francisco. And I'm going to go under 45 and a hook. Now, what's your take? What is Matthew Stafford going to be a stud, or is he going to be a dud today? Because that really, to me, is the difference in the game.
Well, look, Matthew Stafford's playing at home. Now, look, we love L.A. We've both been in L.A. multiple times. But they don't have a great, I mean this respectively, a great fan base. They're not like KC or New England. They got a lot of other things going on. I like the you got the under in that, right?
I got the under. Yeah, 45 and a hook. I'm going under.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't agree with the. I think the Rams are going to win this game over 3 points. I think Stafford has proved me wrong. He's proved you wrong, Brooksie.
Yeah.
I know you don't like to admit that. You never like to admit when you're wrong. But I think he's been. I mean, you won at Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
I'm not a sole believer in Stafford, but I think he's played solid.
No, listen, that's fine. You're right. I was not on the Matthew Stafford train in their first playoff game. Again, he proved me wrong. Okay. Second game, he shows up again and does what he had to do to beat Tom Brady. Again, I'm gonna just go back to where I just don't think he's the guy. And again, I will eat crow if he puts up, 400 yards and 3 touchdowns and they go on and play the Super Bowl. Now, this will be a home game because the Super Bowl is going to take place in L.A., right?
In L.A., yeah. I mean, look, the last game against the Buccaneers, Cup, he fumbled the ball. It was a fiasco.
Yeah.
I mean, the Senate overthrew the ball. I mean, I can't blame that on Stafford. I just can't.
No, it's not on him. That definitely was not on him. But
the Rams did everything they could to lose that game.
They did.
You know what I mean?
They did.
And then, the defensive coordinator for the Buccaneers allow Cup to get that ball down, in the field goal range. That was a disgrace.
Yeah.
But Stafford hasn't been the problem, though.
No.
And so I agree with you over and under. I think I'm going with San Francisco in this. I just think San Francisco is the team to beat.
Fair enough. All right, so I'm taking the 3 and a hook with San Fran. I'm going under 45 and a hook, and I got 2 quick prop bets on this game, and then we're going to go over some fun prop bets that kind of combination stuff, and we're going to kind of do a lightning round. We're just going to kind of blow through a few of them. So, all right, because I like the under, okay, and because I actually think, I'm going to take the points with San Francisco. Matthew Stafford, his overall passing yards, it's set at 282 and a hook. Again, I'm going to go under that. So I'm going to take under 282 and a hook passing yards for Matthew Stafford. And then I'm going to look at, again, not the number 1 receiver for the 49ers, but I'm going to look for maybe the number 2, number 3 option, and that is George Kittle. Okay? Jimmy D, his receiving yards total is 52 and a hook. I think the Rams are going to do everything they can in their power to take away, Deebo Samuel, right? I mean, that would kind of make sense. So I think Jimmy G is going to have to look to his number 2 or number 3 option. And I think George Kittle, I'm going to take over 52 and a hook yards receiving with George Kittle. Okay?
I hate to do this, because usually you're wrong. But I agree with what you said. I think Kittle's going to get over 52 yards. I agree with that 100%. And Stafford, I'm sorry, was it 282 yards over?
282 and a hook. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a tough one. I'm going to go under on that too.
Okay.
I just don't think Stafford's going to do that. I think he's going to go under.
All right, folks, you heard it. He agreed with me. Doesn't happen often, but he did. All right. We'll call it a lightning round, Jimmy D. There really is no. We didn't do a lot of we didn't do any capping on this. I just pulled down some random championship weekend, prop bets from both our friends at FanDuel and DraftKings. Sponsorship. Anyways, all right. So I'm just gonna bang these off. You tell me what you think, and I'll give my take on it. All right, first one. All right. This is Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Tyler Boyd. All right, all 3, each to have 50-plus yards receiving. So each of them have to have 50-plus yards. That's a plus 330, Jimmy. 100 to make 330. You like that?
I'm sorry, Bruce. What was the last one? Was that Boyd?
Tyler Boyd. That's the question mark, I think, in this one. Okay, you got Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd. They each have to have 50 or more yards receiving. It's a plus 330. No? Okay.
I think Boyd's your weak link there. So
yeah.
No, I'm saying no.
No, I think you're right. I think I'd stay away from that one. All right, now this one you might like. Okay, if you think it's going to be a pinball match, Cincinnati and KC. All right, Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow. Okay, to combine for 600 yards passing or more. That's a plus 150. 100 to make 150. What do you think about that one?
That's a tough one, but I'm going with the plus 150. Yeah. I agree with that. I think they will pass for over 600 yards, both of them. That's what I'm taking.
Yeah, listen, again, I think you're going to – if you think there's going to be points in this game, both of these quarterbacks are going to be hucking and chucking. So I think there's some value in there to take the 100 and make 150. All right, so let's see. Let me give you a little. All right, let's go down to this one. Now, this is a juicy one. All right. Tyreek Hill, okay, to have a 50-plus yard touchdown reception. He has to have if he catches a touchdown, if it's 50 yards or more, it's plus 450. 100 to make 450. That's kind of juicy, don't you think?
Absolutely not.
No? Okay.
Right now in the defensive coordinator of Cincinnati, they're saying, do not let Tyreek Hill get behind you.
Yeah,
do not let Tyreek Hill behind you. I do not believe that will happen. 50 yards is close. Vegas is great. I don't believe you'll get that.
Yeah, you know what? I think that man, I may not drop a full C note on that, but I may dabble. You know, maybe throw a 50 spot on it, 50 to make 225. I mean, that might be worth just the fun of it. You know what I mean?
You got a lot more money than I got, Brooksy, so you're gonna do that.
That's right. I forgot. That's right. I'm just rolling in the dough. Anyways, all right. So, all right. How about this one? We'll do one more, and then we're gonna get to the NBA. All right. All right. Now this one's super juicy. All right. Debo Samuel. All right. To have one rushing and one receiving touchdown. All right, so he's got to get both. One receiving, one rushing, plus 800. Okay, 100 to make 800. And this is from our friends at I believe this was FanDuel. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely not.
No, really?
Well, the problem I got, Brooksy, was Debo Samuel comes in the game, everybody's eyes got real big, all right?
Yeah.
They're real big. He's not going to get the receiving TD. You know what? He might get a receiving TD. He might. But he's not got the rushing TD. So I would say a definite, absolutely no.
Yeah, I think that's a tough one. But, you know, 800 plus 800, you might think about it. You know, maybe sprinkle a little bit on it. You never know, right?
Look, if you got a little extra money in cash in hand, you might want to do it. I just don't think. I think the receiving TD might happen. The rushing TD, when he comes in the game, everybody's on the defensive lines, eyes wide open.
I agree. All right, one last quick one here, because this is one I'm definitely going to get down on. Odell Beckham Jr. Okay,
Yeah.
and George Kittle. So Odell Beckham and George Kittle to combine for over 150 yards receiving. Those two to combine. Now, it's a plus 175. I'm down on it. I think George Kittle's going to have a pretty good game. I'm thinking more 75, between 75 and 100 yards. And if Odell Beckham can get at least 50 to 90, I think I'm going to hit it. So Odell Beckham Jr. and George Kittle over 150 yards receiving. It's a plus 175.
I'm sorry, is it 100? I'm sorry, 150 yards? Is that what you said?
Combined. Yep, 150 yards combined, those two.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think that's easy money. I agree with you 100%. I agree with that. I think Beckham, and I think that's just easy money.
All right, so we both like that one, plus 175. All right, so listen, folks, there's our picks and plays on today's NFL, AFC and NFC Championship. Jimmy D, let's jump right to the NBA. I'm gonna pick. I got my spotlight game, and then I'll have you do your spotlight game. All right, folks. I have the Utah Jazz on the road travel to take on the Minnesota Timberwolves. As of showtime, the line was -1. Timberwolves were -1. Points total set at 228. All right, Jazz having a very good season. 30-20 on the year. They're 15-10 on the road. They've hit a rough patch here, a little icy patch, as we like to say in New England. They've lost 4 in a row, okay? And most recently, Friday night, they lost 119 to 109 to Memphis. And I mentioned kind of a rough patch. Well, losing 4 in a row is never good, but these last 4, they really haven't been in each of the games, okay? It's been a really, really rough patch, and every team goes through it. But they seem to be on a major slide, and I mean down. Now they've been led by, for the season, Donovan Mitchell. He's averaging over 25 points a game, and then obviously their stud center, Rudy Gobert, 16 points a game, but more importantly, over 15 rebounds per game. So he's been dominant, on the glass. All right, the Timberwolves, they come into this game kind of disappointing. Jimmy, I think you and I were talking about it off air. About a 500 team right now, okay? 24-25 overall record, 13-10 at home. Now they're also on a losing streak, 2-game losing streak. Friday night against Phoenix, they lost 134-124. Night before that, back-to-back, they played Golden State, and they lost to those folks 124-115. So, thanks to the schedule makers, right, putting the two best teams back-to-back, that's a tough spot to put anybody in. Now, Timberwolves, they're obviously led by Karl Anthony Towns. He's averaging a little over 24 points a game, 9 rebounds, and then Anthony Edwards, 23 points a game. Those two have been a pretty, I call them a dynamic duo, but they really have some good chemistry. Now, this game tonight, this is, believe it or not, the 4th time that these two teams have matched up this year. Utah has won the previous 3. So, and I've been looking at the rosters and injury report, and it looks like Rudy Gobert, center for Utah, is out tonight, and Donovan Mitchell is on concussion protocol. So he's probably going to be a game time decision. So, but as of show, he was questionable. But again, I think this is a really good spot for Minnesota. I'm gonna lay the 1. I think Minnesota wins this game. And as far as the points total, it was set at 228. Jimmy D, I'm gonna go under. I think Minnesota might be able to score, but I think Utah is going to be, it's going to be tough for them to find baskets, rebounds, all that. So I'm going to go under 228 and give me the Timberwolves laying 1. What do you got for your spotlight game, Jimmy D?
Brooksy against San Antonio against Phoenix. Phoenix is going for the 10th win in a row.
Whoa, yeah.
Yeah, the problem with San Antonio is that they're missing Derek White and Jakob Polet. I think that really hurts them. I think it really hurts them.
It does, yeah.
I know the spread is was it 14.5?
Yeah, I think it was 14.5 at Showtime. So,
I gotta go with Phoenix that game. I just think you get 2 main starters. That hurts your team. I just think that they're going for the 10th game in a row, like I said. That's what I'm taking. San Antonio for that.
All right, so you got Phoenix laying the 14 and a hook, and what do you got for the over-under 228? Under or over?
Yeah, 228, I got it over.
You got it over.
I think the Suns are going to really blow them out.
Yeah, I think they're on a roll. It's kind of hard to NBA is really streaky. Once you start rolling, it's kind of hard to stop. So, good breakdown. All right, so folks, that's gonna put a wrap on today's picks and plays. We gave you some obviously NFL, AFC, NFC picks and plays, and then we moved to the NBA a couple games later tonight. So hopefully we gave you some good insight and some good information, so you can go play some picks and go cash some ticks. So listen, on behalf of everyone here at the 7 and a Hook podcast, we hope you have a great day. And as we always say, may your bad beats be small and your big wins be monster.
Thanks again for tuning in to the 7 and a Hook podcast. Until next time, may your bad beats be small and your big wins be monster.